We could even be seeing this flex top for the Galio and putting something like a mid laner that has more of that damage threat. We'll find out.
Team Bifrost is having some fun. We'll see exactly what the last pick is. Looks like they've finalized it here. And it is going to be Camille, so good call.
Makes sense.
And this champion coming back just feels like such good news for Monster.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense, I think, as a pick. You are looking, A, to have Galio preferably in the mid lane, and B, to add some more damage and threat to this composition. You also now have opened up the ability to have a 1-4 split push with this composition, which I think is going to be very powerful. And Ryu, while the quirky pick is strong, it's somewhat predictable, and you're now playing a double marksman as well as, you know, the Gnar and the Rek'Sai. These are all essentially auto attackers into a 3-man front line, right? Like, this is very tough when things like Ninja Tabbies become hilariously efficient, things like a Frozen Heart becomes insane. Like, you can itemize very effectively against a composition that is essentially all auto attackers. Like, even the Thresh, it's essentially 5 people who are going to be sitting there auto attacking you.
You got Bromy.
Yeah.
It blocks a lot of autos as well. Like, yeah, there's a ton built into this comp for TSM. So I think a very expertly navigated draft. Ryu is going to get his farm lane at least on the Corki. We're actually not going to offer too much threat solo at least, but maybe Sven's going to come visit. And once again, TSM feel very well set up. P1 though, I do like the change from the jungle, expecting a little bit more aggression, and probably going to have to help some of these lanes. Top maybe is the place we look to, but you got to track Sven's Garen, man, because if he pins down your laners, Gragas kills people so easily with help.
Yeah, and all I can say for P1 is you better hope your early game is really good, because they are going to get slammed if this goes late game. If this is not a big P1 advantage, I see almost no way that they win in the later stages of the game. Like, you're not going to be able to split push against the Camille in the later stages of the game. You're not going to be able to actually, you know, team fight into this Fed Tristana with this insane front line later in the game. So P1 must succeed in the early game, or I feel like it's pretty much over.
Well, that thankfully has been one of their big patterns to success, but a tough ask here against TSM, who are continuing to look stronger and stronger as the summer progresses. There's just something about this team at this time of the year. I don't know what it is. It's probably well.
I know what it is. They're really good.
They are really good, as it turns out. As we're actually going to eat the first auto attack. Ryu.
There you go.
Not quite,
Lane advantage. Just what they needed, Pastry.
Not quite first blood, but
they did it. They won lane.
A message has been sent. Looks like Regent's helping him out, as TSM just chilling out in the brush. Hoping X Special does something very stupid. Oh, never mind. X Special going to be saved this time, but TSM are invading for vision.
And Special doing his best Sherlock impression there, you know, deducing where the enemies could be.
It's very easy when you see all of them.
Yeah. When you don't see anyone, however improbable it is, they're probably in the bush.
Well,
be careful.
TSM do at least get 2 wards down onto that red side, and looks like they will deny any vision on the other side for now. We'll see if Zig can sneak a ward in.
One of the nice things always about Galio too is Galio is insane for leashing Raptors. So we're going to see Bjergsen go throw a Q, like Winds of War, over onto that Raptors, force Sven Skaren, and he's going to be able to actually clear this out so fast. And, Bjergsen's actually staying bot side to actually try to disrupt it, so they're actually instead perhaps using the Galio to maybe try to steal away some of that. This is an interesting adaptation. Almost always you will see the Galio just used really to kind of give that power leash.
Well, kind of interesting to see that ward kill there. It's very late, but they're barely able to get it. Double Embio got a tiny bit of XP, but don't think it's going to make a difference, unfortunately. No, it doesn't look like it. Oh, it does. I was wrong.
Yep, he did get the 1 minion, right? So he gets level 2, 1 minion earlier, and he does actually disrupt the level 2 a little bit from Mike Young, because he has to kill the big rap before he's going to get it. So that is something nice going for him.
Otherwise, the lane's going to restabilize. Special trying to play up and aggressive. This is kind of should be the signature of P1's play this game. They're looking to be successful because they need to just hammer TSM in this early game.
Yeah, exactly. And Doublelift and Bifrost are just going to try to sit back, last hit very well under the turret, try to absorb any of this pressure, and get themselves to a point where they can get that scaling going. This is smart, though, from P1. Utilize your lane push advantage to try to harass in the jungle. Special can't go too crazy here. Oh, that was actually really cute. Arrow blocking him off there.
Well, does move Bio back to the lane, but looks like Sven will be safe. Smite back up, so blue buff will be secured without any shenanigans from its Special and his flame-powered autos. And looks like a quick check on the early farm. Everything's all stable. So I think the junglers end up, I suppose. Sven got a tiny bit disrupted. Didn't cost him too much there. Looks like Mike Young is actually tracking towards that top side of the map, so Haunter might be in some strife, depending on the plan.
It's certainly possible, but Sven is coming up there too, and if they try to actually go for anything too crazy, the problem with this is Haunter is going to be able to collapse faster. Sven, if he finds Mike Young, they could actually start this 2v2 off very heavily ahead.
They have found Mike Young, who flash unborrows onto Haunter to try and take him down, but the hook shot is going to get the stun. Mike Young might be going down. Haunter!
Zig might be going down.
First blood, and now Sven going to keep chasing, but Zig with the hyper able to get away.
Yeah, they're going to take the safer of the option, back off. Haunter gets first blood and the double buffs on the Camille. That is just brutal. The amount of regen it actually gives you in lane takes away a lot of the edge that Gnar has. It's so hard to actually chip this guy down now. He can just go aggressive. Yeah,
and that's exactly what Haunter's going to do. Certainly well practiced on this champion as Zig trying to kite as best he can. Haunter getting a few autos back and forth. And it looks like he'll just back away. There's a nice hook from him special. He's going to play Bifrost back in, but he stands behind double lift. Takes some heat, but going to be okay.
Yeah, it's some good damage down onto him, but he still has his potions available, and here is the play once again. It was a smart ward, actually, from Haunter, so they know that Mike Young is up here. Svenskeren going to come straight up. They know that they can collapse on this much, much faster. So Mike Young trying to flash over on Haunter and kind of preempt the play, but there's just not enough DPS coming out for them to ever really burst him down in a situation like that. So TSM, smart warding, great collapse, and Svenskeren deserves a lot of credit for anticipating where his opponent will go, because most players in that situation would be on bot side of the map, stealing their opponent's Krugs. Instead, he's up there ready for his opponent's move.
Yep, all that level 1 vision paying off there for TSM as Haunter able to collect first blood. Bjerg in the meantime is going to TP back to lane. This is kind of the new triple Dorans here. Dark Steel Dorans and a Corrupting Potion.
Yeah, it's the triple early items, essentially, right? And now that Bjergsen has TP'd back to lane, he wants to try to keep the wave pushed in permanently. If you can do this, Ryu, who does not have teleport, is going to kind of be put in a situation where he's stuck laning without items, or he's put on an awkward back timing. So Bjergsen wants to try to keep his advantage in lane by forcing Ryu to stay around now while he is at a disadvantage in combat power.
Opens up invade timing as well for Sven, who did check that blue side of the map. He's now back into the top.
Oh, here they go. Double F still there.
Zig about to transform.
Oh,
Gets
nice.
out of the hop. Now Haunter's going to line up the stun. Zig does flash up at the damage. Might still be here. Haunter, we're going to get one more kill, and he's going to grab it.
Oh, and he gets out. Haunter tried to actually, it looked like, redirect his stun to try to flash onto Zig, but he did kind of mess that up. Either way, they still get the kill. That is so big. 2 kills now before even basing for Haunter. His first buy is going to be fantastic, and TSM has got to be so happy about that, because the bot lane advantage is actually very good for P1. You can see they're opening up a pretty sizable farm lead in the early game, but it doesn't matter if the rest of the map is winning, and Tristana can just sit back and scale.
Yep, 2,000 gold Haunter had when he goes to buy, so his Shane and Phage components plus consumables is going to tilt that lane very heavily in his favor.
And I mean, this is actually pretty cool from Haunter. Most players usually start with the early Tiamat. Instead, he's going for the Sheen because he's so strong at this point, he can look just for all-ins. He's level 6. If we see Zig make any sort of misstep, that's a flashless Gnar. Camille will all-in and kill him.
Well, you can see Double and Bio just doing what they can in the farm department, but Arrow is still up about 15 currently, so some of the things looking good there. But the flash of Zig, Haunter now level 6, might not even need Sven's help.
And I mean, as Mega Gnar expires, like, you have to be very, very scared. So they are fighting up top side, but going in on a special bot.
One more order, but Haunter's going to get Nard back in. Ultimatum going to dodge a little bit of down, but Haunter might actually have too much here. Now back in a mini foam, going to kite it out. Haunter looking to get solo kill, but he hook shots away.
Oh. I mean, nice escape from Haunter, but to be fair, why would you take the fight when he's in mega form? You can actually wait for that to expire, and then you have such a huge free advantage. Instead, he fights into the Mega Gnar, allowing Zig access to his ultimate. So while he does get out, it looks kind of cool. It's a poor decision to actually take the fight at that time.
Perhaps unnecessary
to
be that cool. The danger of cool things certainly has punished many a player in a game. Well, Bjerg and Ryu still with their farm first. Bit of trading back and forth, but Bjerg going to take very much damage. Ryu just happy to split the lane, so Bjergsen has had some good push pressure, which has been nice, but hasn't really found time to ulti just yet. To his credit, hasn't needed to, given how well TSM has done in the top lane just with the 2 of them, but things still looking
Even the stats team are flaming Bjergsen's lane.
Yeah, really rough win right there.
Yeah, but they did win with it at Rivals as well, and I think that they have looked much better in recent showings with it, so The stats in this case I don't think are totally indicative, but they definitely struggled with the pick for a while, and that's why they were kind of getting flack about it.
Yeah, and then proceeded to win with it, and I think from there on, TSM have just, again, continued a very strong upward trajectory for the team. They did certainly struggle in the early stages of the summer, but everyone seems like they're playing back to their old form. Doublelift actually going to go back. Only 10 CS behind for his buy as a swap from P1.
Oh, if Sven goes in now, the double...
Oh, actually got bounced back, but Haas not able to knock him back in. Haunter, no ultimate, so doesn't pull the trigger, but it's a 3v2, so probably for the better. Face call, though, who's going to actually box when Scarin, who already burned his flash. Play back in as Mike Young's here to dive. That's his kill onto Haunter. But Sven going to make it to P1 with a great swap to top lane.
Yeah, really nice lane swap up the top. They had the bot lane advantage, and they're actually able to turn it into something. Not only do they get the 2 kills, they pressure Haunter, who doesn't have the wave clear here. I mean, the bot lane going up is very risky. They could get repeat dove and lose the turret. TSM's bot lane needs to be very careful here.
Yeah.
Doublelift has no rocket jump either.
Yeah, just burnt it there to get closer to the turret and try and take down the minions. We'll clear this wave, but Zig going to go back. Has to match Haunter, who's going back down to the bot side. And looks like Mike Young backing off as well. So only a 2v2 here, but that turret's still pretty low, and P1's duo has been applying pressure.
Yeah, really nice play. Zig playing very aggressively, knowing he has the support coming in. Not the ult that Svenskeren wanted there. He wanted to knock him a bit back further into the turret, and then TSM realizing where they're coming, kind of predicting where the flash is going to go there from Svenskeren. So nice play from McSpecial, preempts that, hooks Sven back in. The dive has already been completed onto Camille, and this is a really nice way to do it. Camille very strong in the 1v1, but does not have safe wave clear, is a melee champion, and you can kind of attack him.
Great play back from McSpecial, but Bifrost able to block it. Now he's actually the one taking damage. They're going to have to be careful. All in there for Haunter. Galio's come down as well. Haunter might get it without help. Flash torn from Bjergsen, and Haunter grabs it.
Nice play. The soul lane's actually converging on the bottom side there. They do get another kill. Red buff onto Haunter again, and top side, TSM's bot lane survives, and they get the flash out of McSpecial. So Bjergsen will TP back to mid lane. It looks like TSM is going to decide to make the call to just give up top side. Give up this first turret because they don't know where Mike Young is. Ryu is actually missing as well, so they're threatening the dive, and they're going to respect that.
Yeah, looks like first turret and that gold over to Arrow, so this time it's P1's bot laner that actually collects all of that juicy solo gold, and good transition here for Phoenix1 over onto the Rift Herald right now, and this should be a clean take also as they grab an extra objective. And TSM actually so behind on this play, they're still not done with this turret.
Yeah, I mean, they were very behind from the start on the play because of what happened with the initial dive on the top side. A lot of damage went down on the turret, and they are going to have to remember to actually grab that up.
Might be
okay.
It.
We'll see if they actually can get back, but for now, they're going to go for the kills.
They just really want to kill him. Apparently, there's a knockback with a Fate's Call. Hooked back in, played back forward, knocked out by Mike Young. What a CC chain there for P1 to take down Doublelift. And if they win that race back, that is ingenious.
No one is actually going back to pick this up.
Maybe they just forgot then.
I think they forgot. They're actually basing. Wow.
That's going to chill out as TSM.
Okay, Special's going.
Yeah,
he got
like,
it.
Ah, we need to grab this. Is it a time? I don't know what a time's at. All right, it's fine.
Calculated. They knew all along.
Well, they do remember. Special now holding the trinket, ready to break that Herald in, and Ryu getting some damage here, might be able to set up for that mid turret. TSM did grab the Mountain Drake, so able to make the standard trades here, despite being behind tempo-wise, but still a great play for P1. Effectively get an extra kill out of it, now up about 1,000 gold.
And we'll see if they can actually cash in and get a turret from that Rift Herald, which makes the play that much better. If TSM can defend that, of course, you know, it's not worth nearly as much. You still get the 100 gold for the actual killing blow, which is always nice, but it's not that big until you can actually cash in on a turret, and we'll see. You know, P1 are doing well as far as their lanes are concerned, but is it actually enough? That is really the question. They're going to summon up the Rift Herald. They're trying to pressure this down, and Sven over the wall.
Should be enough here. TSM can't find the angle they're looking for, and there's the turret going to charge in. Now TSM actually in trouble as Bifrost forced to flash away. He already got played to Mike Young. Just takes him down with that bite.
Bifrost being up there was pretty strange. I mean, Sven and Bjergsen were both already backing off, it seemed, and I mean, you don't have any of your DPS there. It's essentially 3 tanks standing at the turret. They cannot really take the fight. So as the turret's going down, you need to retreat. P1 gets the kill and the turret. Haunter looking.
Flash ulti not in range. Gonna keep chasing, but there's a Lantern out. Ryu able to just burn the flash and get out safely.
Good flash from Ryu for sure. Definitely gets him out. It is a trade, at least for Haunter. Kind of all the eggs are on the Haunter basket for now. TSM still very heavily outscales, I feel, as far as the team fighting. If Haunter can actually, create pressure and buy time, that could get them to that lead.
Oh,
nice ultimate.
That's a sick ultimatum. Now Galio gonna ride in as well. Mike up over, he's got way too many people to contend with. Ulti's gonna buy him a little bit extra, but that should be a kill. Haunter gonna grab number 4.
Haunter, that was sick. He actually immuned the Gnar ultimate with his own. When you pop the ultimatum, you have a frame of invulnerability or a couple frames of invulnerability there where you can hop up, and anticipating the Gnar ultimate, he actually immunes that. So it was so beautifully done by Haunter, and he is now really fed.
And then finally another good Galio ult from Bjerg onto Haunter to create those tandem plays. And a 3v2, P1 were never winning.
Yeah, and it's something that makes the split push even stronger because now that Bjergsen is level 11, his ultimate range is increased, and yes, you want to collapse on this split push threat of the Camille and attack him, but Bjergsen can roam up very quickly. And so watch this, as the Mega Gnar comes out, he knows he's looking for that transform right as the rage bar is going over, looking for the ultimate, and just really well played there from Haunter. Not sure if he would have gone down even if it hit, probably would have. But Bjergsen on the roam, Spencer quickly there. They get shutdown gold on him as well, so he's so strong.
Yeah, and Haunter had the Trinity Force when that engage started, still building up gold. Doesn't have too much right now, but Titanic Hydra shouldn't be too far away, and with Zig still looking to finish his first item in the Black Cleaver. You can see that total gold value. Haunter up 1,000 gold on his lane opponent.
Yeah, I mean, Titanic Hydra are very expensive, so probably going to be at least another 10 minutes or something, I'd imagine, around that before he does actually complete that item. But he's off to the races, right? This is Split Pusher. When the Split Pusher is ahead, that kind of outscales in the 1v1. That can be very concerning. And TSM know they just need to kind of buy time. P1 are the ones that need to force plays, that need to kind of keep the pressure on, or they really are going to struggle. Because yes, Arrow is ahead, but Doublelift is staying relevant in the farm. He's not that behind by any means. There's going to be some additional gold from the assist and from the turret and stuff on Arrow, but this Tristana is going to scale up and it's going to have so much protection that Doublelift is going to kind of just be free to do what he wants in the team fights. And then you have Arrow on the short range AD carry. It's so easy to get CC'd up by the Galio, and like, it's really tough.
Another all-in, there's Galio riding in once more. Knockup not even needed. Zig forced to flash with Bjergsen. He's going to chase it down. This time it's his turn.
Just again and again, Bjergsen ulting over to Haunter, setting these plays up so well with the ultimatum. No way out for Zig, and the fact that the flash got expended and he goes down means it's just that much easier to repeat.
Yep, no flashes burnt for Bjergsen at least. Haunter didn't have his, but not necessary for that play as P1 are trying to, again, get their advantages where they lie, which is in this bottom lane. Arrow up a healthy amount of gold, has a similar lead to Haunter over Zig on the TSM side, but this turret's being pretty stubborn as the top lane outer does go down for P1. TSM able to take that and still effectively defending here in the bottom lane with no Drake to take for a minute 30. You can see P1 are starting to get pulled pretty aggressively across this map.
Yeah, they really are, and it's just, again and again, he's going to try to all in. This is how you play these sort of melee and Gnar matchups. You can't let him just be passive. The ultimatum to set up the Galio ultimate, very well done. Nothing really that Zig can do whatsoever.
Didn't even get knocked up, just died to all the damage that was incoming. So again, defense here continues in the bot side. Looks like a recall finally might give P1 the space they need to take that turret.
I think really smart optimization actually being worked on here from TSM. I talked about how effective the Ninja Tabbies are going to be. You already see 3 Ninja Tabbies on the top side of the map being built up. You see the fact that Svenskeren knows he doesn't have to deal damage. He goes Cinder Hulk instead of so many people who actually just go Runic Echoes by default. All he has to do is tank for this super powerful Camille and for Doublelift, who's going to be getting very big. So he's building towards a Righteous Glory with a Cinder Hulk. Bjergsen is going to be itemizing towards a Frozen Heart, which is going to be super effective against all these auto attackers. And I just think really good stuff across the board from TSM with their composition. But P1 is still playing well, and they are still close in gold. They're going to have their opportunities to blow the game open, but it has to kind of come, you feel like, in the next 10 minutes, or it's not going to come at all.
Yeah, I think timing window-wise, you can kind of look at Arrow and he hits 2 items, look at Doublelift and see where he's at, and if that's a comfortable spot, then I think P1 have enough to really win something in a team fight. But Infernal Track is now up, and TSM are already trying to force here. He's going to pull Haunter down for a team fight now.
Well, and a lot of this is just about mid lane priority. TSM grew up as a team, they shove in the mid lane, so P1 has to answer the wave. Then TSM cut over to the Dragon while P1 is dealing with the minions. They get vision control. They get priority on the Dragon. That is how you play around these objectives, and that is something that a lot of the lower teams really still struggle with. But P1, they want to take this fight.
Only hooks Sven, but he's taking quite a bit of damage already. Courage going to keep him healthy with Björk. Does the taunt them away. Forced of life out from Xpecial, who's looking for the Fate's Call knock-up. And
I mean, P1 is pretty strong right now. TSM has a scaling advantage, but this is a one-item Tristana. You know, the Galio is not ultra tanky yet. Bjergsen may try to TP back in because TSM is staying around. I think that's going to be the call. They're TPing in for the flank. We'll see if TSM goes.
yeah, that's actually going to move them over. Now Sven going to get the flank. Good triple belly bump. Knocks out 3 and Sven takes down Xpecial. Galio going to ult back down. And Maikang is just caught between everything. Haunts up, leaps in onto Ryu. Should be able to solo
They
him.
got the dragon too.
Double gets the Drake. He's going to solo out Ryu and barely get the kill as Ryu doesn't have a trade. But 3 for 1 there in favor of TSM and the Infernal Drake.
A really nice re-engage there from TSM. Bjergsen TPing back in after purchasing and healing back up. They get the dragon. Even Svenskeren utilizing the smite to heal himself back up, barely surviving against Mike Young. They get the Infernal. They have big XP advantages. I mean, Svenskeren is 2 levels up on this tank Gragas over the Rex side. Here's the fight once more. Bjergsen goes back to base. As he's TPing in, the engage comes very quickly from TSM. They're fully committing to it. Svenskeren is over the wall here. They have Camille going in, throws down the ultimate, trying to hold him in place. And look at that body slam flash onto 3, knocking them back in. Not much that they can do. And track Svenskeren's health here, very, very low. Smites the dragon to heal, picks it up. Well played. Ryu able to get the trade onto Doublelift as they both go down.
Perhaps ambitious from Doublelift, but
Hey,
he got
traded. It's worth.
Exactly, especially given that he's the one with all the scaling built into his champions. So happy to pick up a lot of extra gold there for Double, as he's now even back in CS and those items are looking a lot closer. And unfortunately, Kalista and Tristana items are not created equal.
No. Tristana just has, I mean, one of the biggest things with AD carries, yes, there's like the attack speed steroid and things like that in the kit that are powerful and you have the mobility and blah, 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 but a lot of it comes down to range. And the fact that Tristana just innately gets more range as you level, it's so much easier to sit on the outside of these fights, especially with a big front line and consistently add DPS, where Arrow, anytime he goes forward to auto attack, he's going to be very close to Svenskeren and Bjergsen and Biofrost. If he gets CC'd up by any of them, he's going to die.
Well, it looks like TSM have gotten pretty firm control of this game. 2 Drakes in a row and 2 good ones with the Mountain and the Inferno. Only 2,000 gold up, but P1, as you can see in that gold graph, did have a lead before, so TSM have arrested control back in the game, and they're already happy to go even.
And the gold lead lies. It's scaling as well, right? When you have dragon advantage, when you have scaling advantage, and you're up 2K, that's tough.
Righteous Glory! Oh,
nice hook!
Very nice from Xpecial, but Björk still going to try and taunt them up. Mike Young on the side looking for the flank. Bjergsen taking a lot of damage, but Zig is building up rage. Xpecial going to miss the knock-up onto Bjergsen. But some frontline is a little low there for TSM.
Xpecial has been on point. I got to give him some credit. He has had some really nice plays. That was actually a sick hook, taking Sven out of that body slam and protecting Ryu, as well as actually forcing them back. But TSM, not deterred. They are still very healthy. They have this Tristana that's going to stand in front of them. They're looking for the dive, actually.
Going for Xpecial. There's the Galio on top of it. That should be a kill. Bjergsen snaps up with the ulti damage. Haunter flashes out, but still going to go down as Zig crunches on top of him. Now back there for Bjergsen, going to try and CC him up, but still tanking a lot of damage. Double going to try and take the turret, and TSM book it. Bjergsen down, but 2 kills for 1 there. P1 at least get a couple.
Yeah, now P1 needs to force something. Both the solo laners are down. That's a lot of the goal for TSM. They have to try to risk doing something like a Baron. They know that they are behind. They know that they're going to get outscaled. They need to make a play like this. We'll see if they can pull it off. They do have Kalista and the Smite, but TSM has Tristana still alive, so they can just look to try to kill them.
We've got Sven here as well, so he can contest for a Smite. It's actually still a level behind, so Mike Young, this is going to be a tough one to try and pull out. 3v4, but kind of 4v4. The Baron doing damage. P1 instead. Look to turn around and re-engage. Mike Young knocks up Doublelift, but Umbro is there for the ultimate. Still not enough damage. Gets stunned there by the Winter's Bite. Passive from Brom helping, but Ryu got a double kill out of that deal. Haunter looking for the long flank around, and Double barely gets out. Now Haunter looking to maybe go back in, but he's caught 1v5.
Yeah, Haunter can't go back in, so now P1, they don't have the health to actually start up the Baron. They're going to have to reset, but they got a couple kills there. Very well done. They know they needed to force something. They're not able to get the Baron, but they are at least able to turn and make something happen from the play.
And consider it this way, Xpecial goes down, TSM get the mid out of turret, and P1 effectively get 4 kills as the play is extended. So no Baron, good work for TSM to stop it, but P1 still making the best of this situation, I think.
Yeah, and P1 wasn't able to finish it, like not from this position. It's still a lot of health on the Baron, and the spears are not really being stacked, so they need to turn for the play. they do look for it. Really good buster shot, actually, from Doublelift onto Zig to push him back out, but he's able to flash back in, transform into Mega, and despite the fact that Camille was coming in, the fight was already lost, so TSM has to bail out. Had they been able to play it maybe a little bit slower, perhaps Haunter can come in and pincer, but it wasn't the situation we're in. They're starting Baron once again.
Haunter has no TP, and he just got spotted in the bot lane. So P1, 5 men out of the Baron. TSM going to have to fight basically a 4v5.
The 4-man contest is strong, though.
They'll just try and steal the Baron. Galio ulti on his fence. Garen Smite's already gone down, but Kalista able to run it away for Phoenix1. Zig, though, already low, gets a big man up as he knocks him out for double. Still just doing DPS in the backside. Starting in the front as there's Bjergsen taking so much damage. Big taunt there, but double wants to get away as his special leaps forward. Still fight contending as Haunter finally arrives, gets the stun onto Ryu. How about ultimatum him and single him out? Arrow, though, did take down Doublelift in the play of Phoenix1. They are doing it. Take the Baron, take the fight. 4 members of TSM down.
Such a good force from P1. Can they actually get the clean ace? I mean, they have the Baron. They can push mid. They're going to get so much off of this play.
Oh, no. There's the ulti. Mike Young picks up the ace.
Oh, P1, they knew they needed to force something. They're able to pull it off. Haunter caught in the bot lane without TP, and P1 forced to play very aggressive shot calling. They make it work. They'll at least get this one more turret, then look to reset, and we'll see how much more they can actually get with this Baron buff. Staying around too long is risky at these low health bars.
Gonna rush for
they're
2.
Gonna go back.
I think, yep, now realizing that not where they want to be. There is a Mountain Drake on the table, so it's probably a clean objective P1 can take, given that TSM are back off the respawn, but again, another gutsy Baron from P1.
Yeah, I mean, it's smart shot calling. You have the Kalista. You know you will lose if you actually stay even going into the late game. So Haunter on the bot side getting punished so hard. Look at that Gnar ultimate from Zig, stunning up multiple members, and then tracking special finds Doublelift actually with this hook. Biocross not in position to block that for him, and Doublelift unable to dodge. That cost a flash, and it means P1 can fly forward. Ryu going in, chunking him very low, then Arrow goes around the side, finishes him off, and once Tristana is down, the fight is done.
I mean, look at how low the health bars were. Bjergsen had a big 3-4-man taunt. That was probably a pretty simple quadra kill for Doublelift if he stays alive, but P1 play it right. The duo lane finds the kill onto the carry, and TSM's damage goes down the drain.
And TSM, you know, big mistake as far as like the map movements and not actually respecting the threat of that Baron. They see no one on the map, and Haunter is bot side without that TP. You need to know that your opponents can actually look for these sorts of plays. They would have had to send Bjergsen, who I actually think had his TP available during that play. So yes, you want to get all that farm on Camille on this split push threat, but you cannot play around the Baron when you don't have TP. So you send the member with TP bot, let Bjergsen wave clear, get that pushing out, then he can respond. You could have a 5v5 where you're in the advantage.
Yep, still found the mid lane, Haunter. I think just a lane assignment mistake there for TSM around the Baron. Well, we'll see just how much P1 can get done with the Baron. No inhibitor turret's broken just yet. In fact, still 3 for 3. A very stubborn bot lane outer turret. Standing true, never mind. Ryu's like, sick of you. Gonna take that turret down, and looks like TSM are trying to counter push the top side, but now have to get back and defend this mid lane turret that P1 wanted to get earlier. Ryu, though, gonna get enough work done, and that should be the easy turret for P1 to take.
Yeah, take that outer on the bot side. Only one outer now remaining. P1 has picked up so much gold. I mean, they were down to almost 3,000 gold not long ago. They are now up almost 5,000. That is definitely where they want to be and where they need to be with this composition. Really, really nice moves, I'd say, through this mid-game for P1, despite not getting the advantages in the early game. Really good shot calling, really good play around the Baron, forcing the TP out, forcing the fight the first time, then committing a second time when Haunter makes a mistake. Has put P1 in a position where they still have hopes in this game.
And remember, P1 do have to stay ahead of the curve for pretty much the entire game until TSM's Nexus explodes, because the closer we push to parity, the more uneven it's going to feel as TSM's comp kicks into gear.
And I mean, they certainly are ahead of the curve for now. You know, Ryu is at a very strong point. Being on that 3 items on the Corki, you know, he can pull off assassinations on someone like the Tristana if mistakes are made, right? If you see a hook land onto Doublelift, or he gets Gnar ulted, or even if Ryu can just get behind the team, you can burst down an AD carry at this really strong point very quickly. So there are ways for P1 to win. TSM need to play patiently, need to delay, but they are kind of out of position. We'll see if they just want to make a trade. They're pushing down mid. They're going to try to trade. No, they're actually now trying to base, so they're going to lose their inhibitor turret for free. I think maybe even just lose the inhibitor. They do take down a turret in mid and bot, it looks like. Now they're actually second guessing, and Double is going to stay there. They're going to try to trade inhibs. We'll see if they can pull it off.
Yeah, Haunter staying as well, trying to take down Zig, who's the sole defender. Zig's still here in Megaform. Haunter going to ultimate him up, but does get nut into the turret. Nice angle there from Zig, and Double just can't really do much here. I mean, this inhibitor is going to stay up. Sure, they get the turret, but they already lost top inhib.
They did get 3 turrets off that play, though. They got 1 bot, 2 mid, so that's actually a lot of gold. If they can get out, I think this is relatively worthwhile. Losing 1 inhib topside is not a big deal with Baron off the map, so TSM trying to make the map plays happen, but Doublelift needs to survive here, or they may just be losing even more, and he is cornered, and he's going to go down.
The survival is unlikely as he just takes the wave instead. Busts the shots to buy some time, but there's a kill.
So, I mean, I think the initial play, like, if Doublelift can get out, is pretty smart. If you're saying, all right, they actually moved too fast for us, we are going to lose our inhibitor no matter what. Let's try to make the best out of a bad situation. Get some turrets back. Get some gold on our team. Because, you know, the gold lead did actually get closer despite him going down because of those additional turrets. And the inhibitor being down topside means that wave will push into you. You can farm that up more heavily, so that can give you some gold too. It's on the side of the map where the important objective is Baron. So this is the least important inhibitor as far as that is concerned. So all of that makes sense. But if P1 could get something done when Doublelift's down, that kind of throws off the map, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen.
Yeah, Baron's spawning in a minute 5, minute 20 till the Drake spawns after it, and P1 did pick up a mountain. There's actually 3 mountain Drakes total spawned in this game, which is of course the maximum. So P1 already shown their willingness to threaten Baron at a moment's notice. Going to be just a touch faster. TSM going to have to really respect that vision and again make sure they put people in the right places. P1 well poised to take this game and force a final one. We'll see how TSM plays and move towards a late game. They should trust in the scaling of their comp that's been drafted for them, but need to make sure they get there without suffering too many casualties.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like at this point, TSM, despite the gold lead, kind of has made it to that kind of point where they are outscaling now, where they are really in the advantage. I think P1 has enough of a gold lead that they are still relevant, but I feel like they need to get to Baron, and they need to get something done with that. You know, if TSM takes the next Baron, or if it stalemates out for longer, unless TSM makes a big mistake, I don't really see them losing. So there still is more pressure on P1. You know, Baron is spawning up now. They're trying to get vision control. They need to get an advantageous fight. They need to get more inhibitors down, something, because otherwise it's going to look bad.
Well, once it does have his TP in, already drawing pressure from both Zig and Mike Young on this Camille, building up towards those tank items with the 2 damage items already finished, and Doublelift is maiming this wave as 3-item Triss. My goodness.
Yeah, 3 items. He's building Blast Whisper. Once he has that Lord Dominic's completed, he's going to be able to shred through Zig and Mike Young on the front line very easily. I mean, this is a full tank Rek'Sai, no damage built whatsoever, so really trying to play that front line as Mike Young, but he's not going to have much of a damage threat. It's actually TSM on the Baron. They know that Rek'Sai is on the bot side. They're going to try to rush it down before Mike Young can get here.
Rek'Sai ulti got changed, can't get there swiftly anymore. The Haunter and Rio actually in a standoff as Haunter ultimatums to buy some time. Zig here over the wall, going to try and steal it. Sven Scarin secures the smite.
Can TSM get out, though? That is the big question now. PA1 cannot let them go. They need to try to corral them.
TSM fighting, but Zig already flashed. There's Bioprotection going to kick them out of the way, but Double's isolated. Mike Young, though, is going to get stunned up. TSM needs to regroup their lines, so Ryu got assassinated by Haunter. Now Zig caught completely out of position. Can't take the lantern, and he goes down to Bjergsen.
Oh, TSM makes such a good call there. Mike Young down, killing the Dragunov. They have no ability to actually smite contest. As soon as they realized that he was the one down there, it wasn't Arrow or someone soloing up that dragon. They had made a mistake, and now TSM in firm control of this game.
And again, that gold lead, it looks even. It is not.
Yeah, with Infernal as well. I think Haunter did a good job actually delaying on the side, holding Ryu back. A nice cast, knocking Zig back as well. The Mega Gnar has expired, so Zig does not have the teamfight presence that you would want here, and that is why they do engage. It looks a little bit dicey as Doublelift is kind of split off from the side. But Haunter able to go over the wall. This very strong Camille takes down Ryu. Zig has been getting chunked out, and TSM has broken mid lane. That turret was already down, so they pick up that easy inhibitor, and Elder is going to be next on the table. We'll see if TSM wants to try to push for more first, though.
Just rolling forward so strong at this stage of the game, but oh, Mike Young, oh, you're gonna get face checked. Yeah, trying to set a trap for Doublelift, but you are indeed caught in the trap.
Looks like Sven's going in to tank up what he can in the front of it. Mike Young almost down. Double F just free hitting right now as Sven. He'd take a lot of damage.
Monster's here now.
The fight. Bjergsen in the front line. Zig does transform, but he has to hop away from the fight. And Double F just rocket doubles forward. He wants in. Gonna try and grab a reset, but not gonna get it yet. Haunter able to lock up Ryu. There's the Galio on top of it. Ryu goes down. And this is gonna be a whitewash. Double F forward onto X-Fed. We're gonna get the pick. The ace almost completed as Mike Young, the sole defender.
Yeah, nothing they can do. This is going to be a TSM looking to take the clean 2-0 sweep over Phoenix1.
Well, Owitsend apparently is the last pipe for Bjergsen. He's going to TP back for a victory lap. TSM take next to start number 1. 2 will crumble swiftly. And a very strong sweep for TSM. P1, not quite yet.
No, I mean, they made him work for it. It was 2 well-contested games from Phoenix1, but TSM looked like the better team. I think that game 2 was, yes, about execution, but it was also about draft. I think that TSM drafted exceptionally well. I think that Bjergsen and Haunter played so well together in the early stages to get Camille to this point where he could not be contested in the side lane, and it put P1 on such a clock. They had to force early because they know they're going to get outscaled by this massive front line in the Tristana. And you saw in that last team fight what it looks like when you have these 3 massive tanks in front of Double Lift on this 3-item Tristana. No one can touch him, and it's so easy for him to actually put in that damage, whereas Arrow and Ryu, despite being at a strong point, can't really contribute in the same way to the fight because there's so much more threat onto them.
I think, again, you have to look at Gnar as a champion that feels like such a good tank when he's in Mega form, because that champion is insane. If you were Mega Gnar all the time, fantastic champion. Unfortunately, that is not how it works, and it is a very unreliable frontline in some ways. I think TSM have to be credited for playing around again so many times. Even that last fight, you could see Double and Bio weaving around the back end of terrain. Like, this team has everything. You can, have mechanics, you can have a good, solid understanding of the map, you can draft well, but I think the higher level, more intangible things are what makes you a great team, and these are the things we are starting to see from TSM and Summer once again.
Certainly are, but you will say there were some mistakes from TSM. It was not a flawless game.
Pretty egregious ones as well.
Definitely looking at game 2, overdive mid lane allows the first attempt on Baron, then Haunter going bot lane without TP allows the Baron over to P1. Like, the game should have almost, in my opinion, been over around that point. Had they not given the Baron over, TSM was in firm control with scaling advantage. They made it dicey on themselves, and they had to kind of make some good plays from there to kind of get back in it and stabilize.
It's funny that a simple mistake is the one that almost cost them the game, given how well they do the complex things. I think the last thing for me with TSM is that you mentioned that they are willing to play a variety of styles. I mean, 2 very different comps that have to play very different ways, and Haunter and Bjergsen in particular able to execute on very different champions in this series.
And I think it's so important to be able to do that, right? Because that makes it so hard to draft against you, right? And it's very easy to say, well, you shouldn't allow them to have this sort of composition, right? That's obviously very some composition, but, well, guess what? Bjergsen can play Syndra, Bjergsen can play Talia, Bjergsen can play, everything. So it's one of those situations where if you can show that you can play a massive variety of comps, you can attack maybe one of those comps in Pickman. Maybe you can attack 2. You cannot stop people from getting a really good composition if you can play everything.
Well, certainly can. But for more on that TSM win, let's check in with Captain Flowers and the TSM top laner.
Thank you very much, gentlemen. I'm here with Haunter, who, along with the rest of TSM, has now claimed the true victory as Rift Rivals champions. How does it feel winning that unofficial championship, taking down P1?
It feels pretty good. At Rift Rivals, felt like the second best team was probably P1, but we never played them, and beating them here today actually means that we're the best in the West.
Absolutely. Now, you particularly have been playing with TSM for 4 splits now, and the roster has gone through changes over that course of time, obviously, like any roster is. How do you feel about the current iteration of TSM? Because you guys are looking pretty strong. Rift Rivals champions, you took down P1 now. How are you feeling about this version of the team and what your chances are heading towards the end of Summer Split and potentially into Worlds contention?
I feel like this version of the team is the best version of TSM ever. And, we had our bad Worlds run last year, and we definitely learned a lot from that. So going into this new split with Peter coming back, we're looking to improve on all of our mistakes, our past mistakes. And I feel like there's no other stronger roster than us.
Definitely a confident statement, a good one to hear for all the fans out there in the audience. And now I've got to ask you, you've still got a ways to go going through the rest of Summer Split. TSM currently sitting in 2nd place right now. which teams or team are you most concerned about playing up against? Who do you think's the biggest threat in the North American LCS for TSM right now?
You know, there's a couple of good teams in the standings right now. Like CLG's doing pretty well. Immortals had their like resurgence. P1's obviously, you know, not that bad. And you know, there's always C9. So, you know, they're all pretty top teams, and I feel like those four can like take games off each other. But in the end, it's going to be us holding that trophy.
So it's just going to be somebody else fighting for a spot against you guys. Looking to add another TSM banner to the inspiring collection y'all already got up there. But thank you very much. Best of luck to you guys going forward into the rest of Summer Split. Now we're going to toss things back over to the analysts to break it down.
Thanks, Kat. Today, we're your analysts. We're actually going to break the game down here. Haunter, we're going to add another banner to the roster so it can fall on his head this time.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, we'll have a look at the team comp here. I mean, we already talked at length on TSM's drafting, but just looking at it one more time, the champions themselves, you know, we've seen a lot of different looks from TSM, but for me, you said it already, it's the fact that they can play so many different styles makes it so difficult to attack any team in draft.
Yeah, it really does, and I think that it's so hard to prepare for teams like that. So being able to have like a diverse champion pool, I think, is extremely important. I think it's something that we've gotten from the 10-ban system. Like, we've seen more diversity, we've seen more different compositions, more ability to kind of show off your champion pool. So I've been very excited about it.
I mean, we saw a Yasuo ban, if you can see it, it's poking around there somewhere down in the left.
I'm not sure about that one, but maybe Haunter's gonna bust it out, or maybe it's been scripted.
I assume he's gone off in scrims with the pickle, maybe in Tokyo. However, we are going to have a look at the replays because TSM did do pretty well in this. This is actually the drag fight that looked a little dicey, but was navigated well.
Yeah, it was navigated very well, and Bjergsen gets chunked out. He makes actually a very smart call to base right away. He knows he has his TP, and he can look for the re-engage. So P1 is staying around, and TSM simply waits for Bjergsen to get back to base. As the TP flank comes in, they engage very heavily. Svenskeren with such a nice body slam engage here. The 3-man body slam there, it looked like, or perhaps just 2, but the ult knocking him back up. And TSM played these team fights very, very well, able to get the eventual 3-for-1.
And Doublelift, despite some heroics, at least get some gold on the trade, so happy with the back end of that. I mean, how many times have we seen Bjergsen on a champion with a global do something entirely unexpected that turns a pivotal moment in a game? A lot.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many, but quite a few.
Right.
I would be willing to surmise.
It feels like Ryze, Galio, Talia, these are all champions that he can excel in. As we are going to have a look at the ace here from P1, who were able to bring it back. This is where P1 were kind of like, okay, we can actually take this game.
Yeah, I mean, this was TSM's biggest mistake in the game, and you know, whoever you want to blame it on, Haunter was bot lane, had no TP. Bjergsen had TP available, so he should have actually been bot side, being the one pushing that wave, and Haunter should have been around the top side to respond to that Baron. Instead, he is not. P1 very intelligently forced the play. They're able to come out very well in this fight. Ryu and Arrow collaborating to kind of take down Doublelift with that chunk, and then because it started in this 5v4, P1 just had such an advantage, and this really did kind of put them back into the game and give them a shot at it.
And I do like seeing this from P1. I think a team that has been characterized in recent weeks as very aggressive. These types of very gutsy Baron calls, as we call them, are an indicator of a team that is willing to fight for things and is, I think, well understanding where they're positioned in a game. Yes, maybe they shouldn't be in this spot in a game where they're effectively going to suffer a build order loss if the game goes late enough. But I think if they want to play aggressive, this is the kind of draft you can do with, and these are the plays you need to make.
Yeah, and I don't think there's anything wrong inherently with playing a composition that gets outscaled. You just have to play around that, right? And I actually really liked the fact that P1 was cognizant of this in their play, in their aggression, in the first Force of Baron and the second Force of Baron, because I think that if you play a comp like that and you sit back, then yes, you've drafted yourself into a loss. But you can play early game compositions, you can be aggressive, and you can take games.
All right, let's have a look at the final fight. TSM bringing it all the way back around after a topsy-turvy game. Mike Young, he tries to be a hero, but he is the bait.
Yeah, Mike Young, I think, was looking to try to set up for a bit of a flank, hoping TSM would maybe walk past and then he could actually get into the back line. They're looking for something of a miracle play, but you can see how easy it is for Doublelift in this fight. Everyone just running in front of him, protecting him. He's able to just free fire the whole time, where Ryu and Arrow have to be running away, have to be always under threat from this front line. And when Doublelift gets to that point, there's really not much you can do. The tanks are too tanky, and Doublelift brings more than enough damage.
I think Bjergsen got at least 3 ultimate kills in that game, by the way. But we're going to have a look at the breakdown here from that game. Again, a very up and down game here on the gold graph.
Yeah.
And damage everywhere, just bleeding out from champions across the rift. But
Pretty crazy to actually see Haunter on the Camille do the most damage, despite being in a game with someone like Corki, who does really high damage and pokes. So very impressive, and he is going to be our player of the game. Well-deserved, I think, despite the mistake on the bot side, being bot lane without TP. I think he played very well start to finish, and you definitely have to give some credit over to Bjergsen as well, because I think the combination there was incredible. Sven Skaren really helped him out too. It was a team effort to get him going, but he did very well with the gold he was given.
I have to agree, and I think, again, that trio there for TSM has just been playing so well on that top side of the map, and I joked about it already. Again, TSM are a team that is looking to diversify heavily, but Camille being back again, just two thumbs up for TSM fans.
Yeah, it's always going to be good. Haunter has been so good on that champion for ages.
Certainly has, but we've got more league action coming your way. Cloud9 hit the rift next as they go up against Team Envy.